my kitchen. Today I'm making a green drink. I'm using a ton of vegetables. We're gonna get a lot of vitamins and minerals here. You know, we love our vegetables. Sometimes you get hungry because we're eating so often, our metabolism is through the roof. So if you don't have time to cook up your vegetables, since vegetables on our plan are free, what not a better way than just throw them in your blender and make an awesome green drink. So what I'm gonna do today is make a green drink for you using a lot of ingredients that you might not think are gonna taste good in this smoothie, but they are gonna make this smoothie really good with all the combination of flavors and then adding a little bit of sweetness with our stevia. So what I'm gonna do here is I've got our blender and I already have some vegetables prepared. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add just about 2 leaves of organic rainbow chard, so Swiss chard, directly into the blender. I'm literally just dropping things right into the blender. You don't even have to chop them much smaller than pieces like this. So I've got our rainbow chard. Then I also have a couple pieces of kale. Kale is the key ingredient here. So I've got my kale. Then what I'm gonna do is I have 2 cucumbers and I'm going to just slice these. I've sliced it in about quarters. So I've got quarter pieces of cucumber, skin and all. I'm gonna literally just drop these directly into the blender. I'm gonna add the other 2 quarters here in a second. I'm gonna get it blended. I don't wanna mix this too much. So I've got the 2 quarters of the cucumber. I'm gonna do a whole carrot. So I'm only gonna do 1 for now, and then I'm gonna add the other half here in a second. Then what I'm gonna do is add my parsley. This is just straight parsley, fresh parsley. So I'm gonna add that directly into the blender. And I'm going to add just a touch of aloe vera. This is aloe vera, really good for digestion, adds a little bit of flavor as well. So I'm gonna add only about 2 tablespoons of the aloe vera. Have a brand new bottle here. Perfect, so I got about 2 tablespoons. Just gonna kind of eye this, just 2 tablespoons. And a touch of water. You don't need very much. About 4 to 6 ounces of water. And I'm just gonna get this blended. I'm not done with our ingredients yet, but I'm just gonna blend this nicely. Okay, so depending on your blender, I have a Mega Vitamix here. So this blender is very powerful, so you might need to chop your vegetables a little bit smaller. So it really depends on your blender. Maybe you decide to use a food processor. It just kind of depends on the machinery that you're using. So now that that is a nice liquid mixture, I'm gonna add more of my ingredients. So the rest of my cucumber, the rest of my carrots, I'm gonna add an entire lime. Now this Vitamix allows me to add the entire lime, no problem. So I'm adding 1 whole lime, skin and all, right into my blender. Believe it or not, I'm also adding 3 cloves of garlic. I'm not kidding you, this shake is gonna be delicious. It might not sound like it, but I promise you. And that's what's so great, is that we're adding all these key ingredients with all the vitamins and minerals and things you would never even think of, like the garlic or the parsley, and it's really gonna make this shake so tasty and flavorful. So my garlic cloves just directly into the blender. I'm almost done here. What I have wheatgrass. Wheatgrass I love to add to my green shakes, not only because it makes it extra green, with all the chlorophyll. The wheatgrass is so good for you, for everything. Your digestion, it's an amazing ingredient. So I'm gonna go ahead and add about a handful of the wheatgrass, just right into my blender like so. And finally, just to sweeten it up a little bit, I do have about 5 packets of stevia here. You can use the liquid stevia if you wish, or I like to just use the packets. If you have a different no-calorie sweetener of your choice, you can go ahead and add that as well. But I do prefer to use stevia since it is a natural source. Then now I'm going to top it off with some ice. So I'm going to do about 1.5 cups of ice right into the blender. And we are going to get back to blending this up. And what's so great about this blender is I do have a little mix here, where a little plastic mixing stick, so I can use this to mix things up. If you don't have one of these, you can use you know, a wooden spoon or something. Just be careful not to touch the blade. So again, some of these different ingredients vary depending on your blender. So just be sure that you might want to slice things up very fine at first just to kind of see how things work. But these are the key ingredients for this Mighty Green smoothie. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on and remix it. Looks like we're just about done. So as you can see, this is ever so green, perfect for St. Patrick's Day, and very easy to drink and get in all your greens. If you don't have a lot of time, you just want to throw things in a blender. So here's my green smoothie with all those ingredients that you never thought would taste so good in a blender. The key ingredients here are the kale, the chard, the wheatgrass, of course, the garlic and the parsley. The lime adds for a little bit of sweetness, of course, along with the stevia. And you're making yourself a great smoothie. So if you don't have a lot of time, just need to get in those greens. Perfect way to do this. So this is a Mighty Green smoothie with all those ingredients. I promise you, it might sound a little crazy to add a lot of those things to a smoothie, but go for it because you're going to be really surprised how delicious this actually is.